Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Victoria and today we are back with a new tutorial. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this beautiful petal design using fabric. I'm going to carry you guys along each step of making this flower design. Please do make sure to like, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video. The first thing we are going to be needing is the A4 paper. So I basically just took off paper from my jotter and we're just going to fold it into two like so. So after folding it into two, we are also going to be folding it into four. So this one A4 paper you'll be able to draft two flower petals from it. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my scissors to cut it into two, and that way we have paper for two petal pattern. And I'm going to go ahead and get the third one ready. So now we are going to also start with the first petal, which is the bigger petal. We're going to go ahead and place our ruler and mark 5.5 inches by 3 inches. So I'm just going to place my ruler on 3 inches and mark that. And then coming down, we are going to be marking 1.5 inches. And then I'm just going to be connecting those three dots together. So now I'm going to go ahead and use my pen and freehandedly just draw out the petal design. The line we drew earlier is just a guide for you, so you are going to need to curve out of that line to give it a natural looking petal design, right? So that is what I did for the first one. Now we are going to go ahead and draft the second petal. For the second petal, we are marking 4.5 inches, and then we are also going to be marking 3 inches as the upper width. For the lower width, we would also be marking 1.5 inches. Now I'm going to go ahead and connect those dots together using my ruler. So connecting those three dots is just a guide. So just like we did for the first petal, we are going to be using our free hand to just curve it out to give it the natural petal looking design, and that's what I'm doing here. Next, we are going to go ahead and work on the third petal design. So for the measurements for the third petal design, we're going to be marking 3.5 inches by 3 inches by 2.5 inches, sorry. So 3.5 by 2.5, and then we have a width of the lower width of 1.5 inches. And I'm going to go ahead and use my ruler to just draft it out to use as a guide to draw out my petals, just like we did for the first two petals. Right here, I went ahead to cut out the petals and numbered them. So the first one, the bigger, smaller, and the smallest. So for the smallest petal, I'm going to be using 9 pieces of petals. For the medium one, I'm going to be having 15 pieces of petal, and for the biggest, we need 21 pieces of petals. Moving on, right here, I'm gonna ahead to cut on my fabric, and then I went ahead to sew half an inch round, and this is what it's looking like after sewing half an inch round. So this is just the outer part of the petal. I'm showing you what the back looks like. And then I'm going to also go ahead and show you what the front looks like after notching and ironing. So here we have all the petals lined up together. So we have a total of 9 petals for the smallest, 15 petals for the medium, and 21 petals for the biggest. So I just separated it based on how I want the color designs to be. And then next we're going to go ahead into joining the petals together, and I'm going to show you how to do that very easily. For the joining of the petals, you're just going to pick up the petals and then pinch them forward, overlapping them on each other, just as I'm doing right here. So you pinch it forward and overlap, and then you go ahead to sew. And then you don't sew completely to the end of a petal. You go at least about an inch before the end of the petals, so that you're able to overlap the next petal on top of that one. You pinch it and then you sew, leaving 1 inch gap, and then you repeat that process. You overlap with the other petal that you pinch and place and sew, and then you continue that way till you're done. For the first petal size, which is the one in which we use 21 petals, you need 7 for each circle round. So 21 meaning it's in 7 times 3, which is 21. So I'm going to be having 3 sets of the biggest size. So you're just going to be going ahead to sew. After you've sewn the 6th one, then you are going to go ahead and overlap the first one you sewed. I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about in a minute. So moving on, I didn't realize my camera went off on that. So just like this one, which is the same thing, we finished on the last petal. You are going to be pulling the first petal towards the last one, overlapping it like you've done for the others, and then you're just going to overlap it and sew, and we have a perfect circle. And then you go ahead and back stitch it, that way it stays in place. And then you cut off your excess thread, and then I'm going to show you what it's looking like. This is what we have at the end of the day. Our petals looking beautiful and neat. You can go ahead and add this to your dress, your skirt, your pants, whatever design that you want to use this petal designs for. They're very, very versatile. I hope you learned a thing or two. Please do make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.